Namaste to everyone. How are you all? Okay, so let's begin today's class. Sit up straight. Sit up straight. Take any mudra that you prefer for yourself, and then close your eyes. We will begin today's class with 3 Om together. Take a deep breath in. Join your hands together in front of your heart center. Bow your head down to the God. Pray to the God for today's energy, for today's practice. Now open your eyes while blinking, and namaste to everyone. Okay, so let's begin. So let's begin with a warm-up, and then we'll talk about the postures alignment. Okay. Yes, everyone, please stand up straight on the top of your mat. Okay. Now, as you inhale, stretch your arms up over the head. Take your hands up and make an arch on your back without pushing your hip forward. Just no. Make an arch with Dagmar. And Dagmar, just take your hands up, make an arch on your back. Just send your hands back. Do not push
Is
your
there
hip
an
forward.
internet issue?
No internet issue. I think not for today. Okay, just open up your chest without pushing your hip forward. Very nice. Exhale, bend forward, hands on the floor. Now send your right leg back, drop your back knee on the floor. This is called Aspasanchalana, horse riding pose. Sink your hips down. Make sure your front knee does not go further than your toes. All right. Just keep it above your ankle or above your toes. That is fine. And then send your left leg back for the mountain. Now drop your knees down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. And then exhale, roll your shoulders back into Parvatasana or Mountain Pose. Now step your left leg forward. We are doing Hatha Sun Salutation, okay? And then left leg forward to meet your right leg. Sorry, right leg forward. Step your right leg forward. Now inhale, stretch your arms up over the head. And then exhale, join your hands together in front of your heart center. So this is your half round of Sun Salutation A of Hatha Yoga. Okay? And then inhale again, take your hands up over the head. Exhale, bend forward, hands on the floor. Send your left leg back. So earlier we sent our right leg back. Now we are sending our left leg back in the second round. Now left leg back. Sorry, right leg back for the mountain. And then drop your knees, chest in on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the Cobra Pose. Bhujangasana. Exhale, roll your shoulders back for the mountain. Now, which leg are we going to brought forward? Any idea? Your right leg forward, okay? So we are just sustaining that stretch only on our left side, the second round. Now, step your right leg forward. Good job, Dagmar. And then left leg forward. Inhale, stretch your arms up over the head. Make an arch on your back. Exhale, join your hands together. Okay.
Please, virtual, keep quiet and take your class.
Yes. Yes, okay. So again, take your hands up over the head. Make an arch on your back. Exhale, bend forward, hands on the floor. Now send your right leg back and then drop your back knee on the floor and sink your hips down. Exhale, left leg back into mountain. And then drop your knees down, chest down, chin down on the floor. Inhale, swing yourself forward for the Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. And then exhale, roll your shoulders back, roll over your toes for the mountain. Now step your left leg forward. And then right leg forward. Inhale, stretch your arms over the head. Make an arch on your back. Just open up from your thoracic region. And then exhale, join your hands together in front of your heart center. So when you're taking your hands up over the head, this is your second posture in this Hatha Salutation. Okay. So we are supposed to open our thoracic region, not our lumbar region. Okay. So if you're bending from your lumbar region, you will be having a lot of pressure in your lower back. So we are going to avoid this lower back. We are going to maintain this pressure from our thoracic region. Okay. So again, take your hands up. Just let's understand what did I say. Just open up. If you're pushing your hip forward, you'll be having a lot of pressure in your lower back. So you cannot hold there for a long period of time, even after you're squeezing your butt. But if you're just opening from your thoracic region, like taking your hands up and then looking front without moving your hips forward, then you will have nice extension on your thoracic region and you will love it. Okay, do not push your hip forward. Do not push, and then open your heart and look front, look front, look front, row. Row, just look front. Tisha, you also look front. And then keep your hips back. Keep your hips back. Very nice. Look front, look front. Yes. So this is how we are going to do this Urdhva Hastasana or Hastottanasana. Now exhale, bend forward, hands on the floor. Now completely bend down. So we have also talked about this forward bend. In this, if your abdomen does not get touched with your thighs, so you can always bend your knees. Okay, just slightly bend your knees and feel that extension on your hips, on your lower back. Now send your right leg back into Asva Sanchalana or horse riding pose. And then sink your hips down and maximize the angle between your both legs and minimize the gap. Good job. So if you're taking your right front knee further than your toes, how do you feel? And when your knee is above your ankle, how do you feel? So let's do this one. Just push your knees forward. Just send your knees forward further than your toes. What are you feeling in this posture? When you're sending your knees further than your toes. See, you will have a lot of extension in your front knee, and that is not bearable. Okay, that you cannot bear. But if your knee is above on your ankle, then it is going to be stable and you can easily find the balance right there. Okay, so this is how we are going to do this posture. And other thing, and do not always just push your hips down, like just keep sinking your hips down. Otherwise, you will have bone to bone compression in your front leg and your pelvic girdle. Okay, make sure you are not hanging into the joint. You're just sustaining that balance and you're just holding the posture by engaging your muscle. Now send your left leg back for the mountain. Yes. Now drop your knees down and then chest down and chin down on the floor. And look front, Ashtanga Namaskar. Yes, Valeria, just drop your knees, chest in on the floor. Reach your tailbone high. Good job. And then inhale, swing yourself forward for the Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. And then exhale, again roll back into the mountain. Now press your hands, jump forward for the halfway look up. And then exhale, completely bend forward, hands on the floor, flatten your palms on the floor. If you cannot reach your hands down, you can slightly bend your knees and look front. Do not look down. If you are looking down, you will make hump on your back. Now inhale, stretch your arms up over the head. All the way come up high. Just take your hands up. And then exhale, release back into Samasthiti. So have you seen people who has knock knees? So whoever has knock knees, so you will feel like you can easily see their legs will start to rotate inward. Okay. So if you have knock knees like this, one person would like to show us. Anyone? So if your knees are coming together like this, then you will have your upper leg, like your thigh bone or your this femur bone that is going to rotate inward, but your lower leg will start to rotate outward. That's why we are just getting that extension. We are just coming on the outer edge of our feet. Okay. If you have high arch, do you know the high arch? The flat feet, high arch, and normal arch. So if you have flat feet, then your feet will start to turn in. Okay, your femur bone that will also start to rotate in, but your lower leg that will start to rotate outward. Then we do have this knee pain, whoever has this flat feet. Okay, so why do we have this flat feet? Any idea, anyone? So when you do not have enough strength in your feet, like in your plantar fascia that we call sole of our feet. If you do not have enough strength there, you will definitely collapsing inward. So if your feet are collapsing inward, your lower leg will start to rotate outward and upper leg will start to rotate inward. Just understand this by performing this thing. Okay. So try to bring your knees together. Try to bring your knees together. Just look at the camera. Look at the camera this side. Yes. Now bring your knees together. Bring your knees together, everyone. Yes. Just bring your knees together. So how are you feeling? How your legs are rotating? Are they rotating in or out? Yes. Your upper leg is rotating inward. What about your lower leg? Are they rotating outward or inward? Lower leg means your shin bone. Below your shin, below your knee. Yeah. No, see, upper leg is rotating inward, but your lower leg is rotating outward. So your body is designed in such a way it can easily find the balance by itself. Okay? So your body itself find its balance by like alternate movement, alternate rotation. So if your upper leg is rotating inward, your lower leg will start to rotate outward, and your ankle will start to collapse inward. Did you understand what do I mean here? If no, just please let me know. Then we'll go further. Okay. So if your feet, let's suppose this is your feet, if they are collapsing inward like this, if my feet are collapsing inward, just see my lower leg that is going to rotate outward, and my upper leg that is going to rotate inward. Okay, so this alternate motion is happening here. Just understand this thing. And that is why if you have knock knees, your inner thigh muscle that gets tight. Because if your inner thigh muscles are tight, that is going to pull you inward, and then your upper leg will start to rotate inward. Just feel like, just take your hands like in between your legs. Take your both palms in between your legs like this. So let's suppose your inner thigh muscles are getting tight. Like squeeze your inner thigh muscle, so they are going to rotate inward, right? So if you have flat feet, then you will definitely have knock knees. If you have knock knees, what are we going to do in order to just get rid of these knock knees? We are going to make our inner thigh muscles flexible, right? So our inner thigh muscles are very tight, so we are supposed to work on the flexibility of our inner thigh and strength of our outer thigh. Did you understand? If your inner thigh muscles are tight, that means your outer thigh muscle does not have enough strength. That's why, like, it's like letting your inner thigh squeezed in and your outer thigh is rotating inward. Okay, so the question is, what are the postures that we are going to do? Who has flat feet or knock knees? Any idea in how to make your inner thigh muscles flexible? Yes, Dagmar, any idea? No? Do you know frog pose? Frog pose. So in frog pose, where do you feel that stretch? In your inner thigh, right? In your inner thigh, or we are also working on the mobility of our hip joint. Okay, if your legs are rotating inward, so we need to rotate our legs outward so that that can be balanced. So you can go for the frog pose. What are other poses that we can perform?
Malasana.
Malasana, that we can try. In Malasana, where do you feel stretch? In your groins, in your inner thighs. Okay, like Malasana, sit up into Malasana, join your hands together, and then stretch your inner thigh muscle. And what other poses do we have?
Utkatasana also, the chair pose also.
In Utkatasana, we usually engage our inner thighs. Okay, so we do have that stretch on our outer thigh, or sorry, on our outer hip. So in Utkatasana, we won't feel the same stretch, but we can easily strengthen our butts. So that will be fine too, because we need to have that strength also on the outer thigh, right? So we can go for the chair pose too. Any other posture?
When the legs
Skandasana.
Yes,
Sorry. Skandasana.
Skandasana.
Mhm.
Skandasana just performs, then see where do you feel the stretch? Let's come up into Skandasana.
Butterfly.
Yeah,
maybe the
butterfly.
one when your legs are like that and your heels are out.
Yes, that is called goddess pose, in which we are just extending our inner thigh muscle, and our legs are bent into 90-degree angle, and we are trying to sink our hips down. So that is goddess pose. That is also beneficial for those who has knock knees or flat feet. Okay. So yeah, what else? So we were just working on the flexibility of our inner thigh, but we did not talk about the strength of our outer hip. Okay, so how we can strengthen our outer hip or our butts or like outer hip abductors by squatting. Like when you do squats, at the time we like engage our butt, so you won't have that problem if you do squat. Okay, because you have enough strength. If your outer hip muscles are weak, then definitely your inner thigh muscle is going to squeeze, and that is going to letting it inward. Okay, so it's better to do squats, that is going to strengthen your butt and your outer thighs. What are the other postures? Any idea in which we can strengthen our outer thigh? Warrior C. In warrior C, what do we do? Do you know warrior C? In warrior C, what do we usually do? Our one leg is at the bottom and other leg is up in the air. So we are just like strengthening our outer, sorry, the posterior group of muscles, like your lower back, your hamstring, your calf, your hip, and your chest too. Like everything going to squeeze from behind, and then you are trying to strengthen your posterior group of muscle. So that is also going to be beneficial for those who have knock knees. Or half moon pose. Do you know half moon pose? In half moon, yeah, Ro, would you like to show us that how do we do Ro, half moon pose?
Half moon pose.
Yes.
I don't know if I can remember. I can do the.
Yeah. I'll instruct you. Just come up into warrior V. This warrior V. Right leg front or left leg front, right leg. So from here, shift your body weight on your left leg. Shift your body weight on your left leg. Lift your back leg off the floor. Just lift your back leg off the floor. Yes. Just all the way up. So yeah. This is your warrior C. In this, your hips are square, but you are going for the half moon. Your hips will start to open like a book. Yes. And just place your left hand on the floor. Yes, this is a half moon. Okay. So you are going to keep your one arm on the floor, other arm up in the air, both hands in one line, and then strengthen your outer hip. See the maximum strength directly coming to your outer hip. So this posture that you can also perform for those who have this problem or flat feet and all. Okay. So this is how you're going to strengthen your outer hip, or you're going to make your inner thigh muscles flexible. Okay, these were the postures that we can perform who has knock knees. Okay, so what are the other things we can do for those who has this flat feet? Just understand, when you have flat feet, your feet will start to rotate inward and your knees will come together. Okay, but if you have high arch, I mean, if you have high arch, you will have bow knees. Your knees will get away from each other. Okay, so the same thing happens, but it is going to be completely opposite. Okay, so if you have bow knees, you're going to do the same thing, but oppositely. Let's suppose if you have bow knees, then your inner thigh muscles will be very loose. It won't have strength, but outer thigh muscles, it will be quite tight. So we are going to work on the outer like work on the flexibility of our outer hip and work on the strength of our inner thigh muscles. Okay. And if you have this flat feet, what else happens in your body? Any idea? See, yes, this
Posture may be affected.
the posture, yeah, gets affected. Like
Lower
your
back.
hips will start to rotate inward. See, yes, everyone, please stand up straight. Yeah, let's suppose if you have flat feet, I mean you're collapsing from your inner arch of your feet, rotate in. See, just feel the difference. What is happening to your hip? It's tilting forward or tilting backward. Forward, right? So this is called anterior pelvic tilt when you're moving forward, and when you're squeezing your butts in, that is called posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, so when your hips is moving forward, anterior. When your hips is moving back, that is posterior. So generally, we do have anterior pelvic tilt. If it's tilting further than its limit, then that is a problem. You guys are fine, no problem. But if you guys have this anterior pelvic, like if your hip is tilting too much forward, then it means your hip flexors. I mean here in your pelvic girdle, here hip flexor, that is going to be tight. If they are tight, that's why it's pulling you down towards the floor, right? So that's why your hip is moving forward, and your butt does not have enough strength. The same thing like knock knees. Your butt did not have strength. If you have knock knee, your butt won't have strength, and your hip will start to tilt forward, and your inner thigh muscles going to be very tight. So hip flexors, they play the same they play the same role as same as like a inner thigh muscles. Hip flexor. Do you know hip flexors where it is? Yes. Just look at row. Just see showing where are hip flexors. So here we do have hip flexors. Okay. So hip flexors, they just try to rotate inward to your inner thigh like this. Like let's suppose this is your pelvic girdle that is going to rotate inward to your inner thigh. So that is why we are supposed to work on the flexibility on of our hip flexors. If you have anterior pelvic tilt and your lower back will have deep arch on your back. So normal arch we do have, but if you have anterior pelvic tilt, then you will have deep arch on your lower back. Okay, so that it means what are we supposed to do? If you have deep arch on your lower back, your hip is moving forward. So what are we going to do?
Only open the thoracic, don't like open the chest from the thoracic region, not the lumbar.
Yes, not the lumbar region. Yes, it's perfectly said. So we are supposed to just open up from the thoracic region, but not from the lumbar region. Okay, and work on the flexibility of your hip flexors too. So when you are here in the Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana, in this, we are supposed to keep our hips on the floor and then stretch our lower abdomen, hip flexors, and then we reach up into the extended Cobra Pose. Okay, so that is how we're going to perform if you have anterior pelvic tilt. But if you have very deep arch, then we are supposed to go for the lengthening our spine. Okay, so if you have deep arch on your back, we are going to lengthen our spine, then we are going to fix our spine in such a way so that our spine gets straight like this. So we can go for the Tadasana tree pose or downward facing dog. And we have to always do thoracic breathing. If you're going for the abdomen breathing, you will have deep curve on your back. Okay, let's go for the thoracic breathing. But the maximum when we are performing posture, we are supposed to go for the thoracic breathing. If you're going for the abdomen breathing, you will have arch on your back. Okay, the moment when you breathe in from your thoracic region, you will feel that abdomen is going to get engaged. When you exhale, your abdomen will get loose. Okay, so while inhaling, your abdomen gets engaged. While exhaling, your abdomen gets loose. Just perform it, then you can understand. Otherwise, you will forget everything. Just inhale first. Keep your hand on your thoracic region and one hand on your abdomen. Just inhale. And then exhale. Did you feel that? Inhale. When your lungs are expanding out, at the time your abdomen is going to be engaged. The abdomen is getting inward, like that is going to get in. While exhaling, your abdomen will get released and will get loose. So that is how we are going to understand our breathing when we are performing our posture. Okay. So let's go further to another posture. Okay, so if in our spine we do have like sleep disc, sciatica pain, lordosis, kyphosis, these things we do have in our spine. If you have deep curve on your lower back, then what are we supposed to do? We are going to lengthen our spine. We are not going for the twisting. We are going to just lengthen our spine or a little forward bend, that is fine. Lordosis, do you know lordosis? How does it look like? Yes, no? Does everybody know the lordosis? How does it look like?
Do you
When
mean
have deep-
lotus? Lotus.
Low doses, not lotus, it's low doses, low doses. That's a problem in our back. If you have deep curve
Oh,
on your
yes,
back,
yes, lordosis,
yes.
yeah.
So if you have deep curve on your lower back, like your hips is moving forward, it's tilting forward, then you have deep curve on your lower back. So you may have seen people their hips gets higher than their lower back. So that is called lordosis. Anyone would like to
When-
show us that how does it look like?
I think, is it when one hip is higher than the other hip and it
No,
affects
that is your scoliosis. Yeah,
scoliosis? Sorry.
scoliosis is that as they that become. Yes, Ro, would you like to show us that how does this lordosis look like?
Lordosis. Well, I think I was thinking of scoliosis.
No, it's fine. I'll tell you that how you're going to rotate it. Okay, just turn your face that side to right side. Yes. Okay, so keep your hand on your waist. Yes. And now tilt your hip forward. Tilt your hip forward, forward. This is backward. Yes. And then open up your chest. Open your chest. Now this is lordosis. Okay. So lordosis that tend to happen in your lower back and in your cervical region. If your cervical region moving forward, this is also called lordosis. Just look at her. So now she's making that lordosis on her lower back and in her cervical region. Okay, now thank you so much, Ro. So in this lordosis, what happens? Your hip flexors are tight, your lower back are tight, but your abdomen that is loose and your buttocks are also loose. So this is called crossbody syndrome. Have you heard this before? Crossbody syndrome. So this crossbody syndrome happens in your lower body and upper body. This is your pelvic girdle. It happens here, and this is shoulder girdle. This happens here, because these both girdle are like very important in our body, because the maximum mobility we do have here and here. Okay, see, just understand this is your crossbody syndrome. If your muscles get tight from here, from this side, your muscles will also get tight from here. Like what do we call this thing? Like if it is tight from here, it is going to be tight from here. If it is loose from here, it is going to be loose from here. So this is cross. If it is tight, it is going to be tight. If it is loose, it is going to be loose. Okay. So once again, everyone, please stand up straight. Let's just understand this thing, crossbody syndrome. Yes, turn your face to right side or left side so that I can see from the sideways. Yes. Now keep your hands on the waist. Now tilt your hip forward. Tilt your hip forward. Very nice. And then open your chest. Yeah, Valeria, just open your chest and tilt your hip forward. Good job. So let's suppose you do have lordosis. So definitely there will be crossbody syndrome on your lower back. Okay. So just touch your hip flexors. Touch your hip flexors like on your top of your thigh. So this is your hip flexors. If your hip is tilting forward, it means your hip flexors are tight. Okay. It means your hip flexors are tight and your lower back is also tight, like the cross. If your hip flexors are tight, then your lower body will get tight. Understood? And now, what about your abdomen? Does it have enough strength? Does it have enough strength to hold you back? No, it does not have strength. Okay, so your abdomen is also loose. At the same time, your hips won't have enough strength. So this is called crossbody syndrome. So what are we supposed to do here? If your hips are getting higher than your lower back, like something like this. So what are we supposed to do?
Tuck the hips in, maybe.
Yes.
Tuck the hips, pull belly in.
Yeah.
Pull
So
the neck.
yeah, that means, see, your abdomen does not have strength. If you engage your core, automatically your hips gets into the neutral position, right? So just understand this thing again. Just pull your abdomen in. If you have lordosis, how are you going to move back to the previous position or neutral position? By engaging your core. The moment when you engage your core, your hips gets engaged automatically. Have you observed this before? Just understand, if you're engaging your core, your hips will also get engaged automatically. So that means we need to work on the engagement or that is strength of our core, strength of our butts. We can easily strengthen our butts by doing squats. We can easily strengthen our core by doing chaturanga dandasana, like do yoga, you will strengthen your core. And what about that tightness we do have in our hip flexors and in our lower back? How are we going to release that? Yeah.
Roll the
How are we
shoulder.
going? Yeah.
Roll the
So how,
shoulder.
no, so we're not talking about upper body syndrome, we're just talking about lower body syndrome. Okay. So just keep that aside, that upper body syndrome. So here, your hip flexors are tight. It means we are going to work on the front split or Asu-Sanchalana horse riding pose, in which we do not go for the deep back bend. Or what else you can do in the warrior A, warrior B, that is going to stretch our legs and our hip flexors in the goddess pose, right? Not on the goddess pose, but in the cobra pose. In cobra pose, baby cobra pose, or do not extended cobra, but baby cobra poses. So what about your lower back? If it is tight, how are we going to make it flexible?
Maybe forward roll. Maybe forward.
Just forward bend. Just forward bends. They're all forward bend that you can try, like Ashtanga Primacy that you can try. That is going to give you nice stretch in your posterior group of muscles, like your lower back, your thoracic region, your buttocks, your hamstring, everywhere around. Okay, let's go for the primary series. You will find that stretch in your back portion of your body. Okay, so this was your lower body syndrome, and let's talk about that upper body syndrome. Okay, so upper body syndrome tend to happen here. So how does it happen? Any idea? See, your neck gets forward like this. If you have upper body syndrome, your neck will start to moving forward. So it usually happens to those who work a lot on the laptop. So they just tend to bend forward. So what is actually happening in this pose? This cervical region, it gets tight, right? If it gets tight, definitely your chest will also get tight. If your chest is getting tight, it means that is going to lose, and your upper like thoracic region, it will also get loose. Okay. So where are we going to work on if we have this upper body syndrome?
The chest.
The chest, right? So our neck is quite stiff. We are going to work on here. How are we going to work on? Like moving our neck forward, or any posture in which we can bend down, like in which we are just stretching our neck. And if our neck is tight, it means our chest is also tight. So we will go for the back bend. We'll go for the back bends, any back bend, like go for the easy or intense as per your comfort. And what about the strength of your this throat part or this chest part and your back portion?
Do you think when we put our hands up like this and
Mhm.
arch back, maybe that could help?
See, here it is loose. Okay, it is loose here. It is loose here because it is tight from here. Then it is like crossbody syndrome. Right? So if it's tight from here, then it will be tight from here too.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it means it is loose. It is not letting you, just be engaged. If it was like engaged, then it can pull back and your neck gets straight. But your back of the pose, like back of your neck muscles are very tight. That's why it's like making this arch on your cervical region. Did you understand? So if you're
Yeah.
making arch on your cervical region, it means your neck muscles are tight. That's why your head is pulling forward and your chin is not parallel to the floor. Understood? If it is tight from here, it means it is loose from here. So we are going to strengthen our this part, okay? But it is tight from here because And if it's loose from here, definitely your thoracic region, that portion is loose. It does not have strength. Loose does not mean that you have enough flexibility. Okay. So loose does not mean that you have flexibility. Loose means it is like less active. It does not have movement. You do not have control over there. That's it. Okay. So if any like region of your body is loose or it does not have strength, how are we going to strengthen that part or that muscle? Whenever you're lifting your body against the gravity, definitely you will find strength in like same like Chaturanga Dandasana, Warrior C, and what else? In the crow
Down
pose,
facing dog.
downward facing dog. See, if you are really looking for the strength, then you have to go against the gravity. Okay, so if you have less strength, if you have less that foundation, if you have the if your center of the gravity is very less, like it's like pointed, then you can easily find the strength. But if the center of the gravity is too high, or like if the foundation is very big, then you cannot easily find the strength. Like Chaturanga Dandasana, we do have 4 limbs only, though 2 palms, 2 feet, the speed. Okay, so we are just lifting our body away against the gravity. What about in the Warrior C? We do have only 1 leg on the floor. On that basis, we are lifting our whole body off the floor. What about that half moon pose? In that we are also strengthening. This is the maximum strength that we are getting. And Cobra pose. In Cobra pose, when you're lifting a chest up, lifting a chest up, palms of the floor, at the time we are maximizing the strength of our lower back. Okay, so this is how we can easily strengthen our lower back or like thoracic region, because it was loose. So we are going to strengthen by going with this baby cobra pose. Do you know how do we do baby cobra pose? Yes. Yes, so once again, would you like to show us?
Baby cobra. It's
Yeah, baby
the
cobra pose.
elbows on the
Mhm.
I think it's just like
This is a spin pose. Okay, this is a spin pose. Just
oh
lift your hands off the floor. Lift your hands off the floor. Yes. No. Lift your hands off the floor. Just
like this,
palms of the floor. Yeah.
like this.
Open up your chest. Lift your chest high. So this is your baby cobra pose. Okay. So this is very beneficial if you have any pain or if you do not have strength. If you have a lot of pain on your lower back, like even it is coming from your slip disc, or if it is coming from your sciatica, you can always go with this baby cobra pose. Okay. So one of my student was there. She had this slip disc pain, but she continuously did this posture like baby cobra pose every day, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and she just lost all pain. It went off. So just keep trying this baby cobra pose. It's very beneficial for everyone, whether you do yoga or not, you do have pain or not. Just do this baby cobra pose. It is going to like strengthen your lower back, because the whole like if even after you're walking, even you're running, the maximum strength we do have in our lower back, because this part is running whole body. If you do not have strength here, you cannot find your body cannot find the balance. So this is like the major part of your body that we are going to strengthen. So that is why I never say like bend from your lumbar region, because if you do one mistake, then you will your disc will slip. Okay, so that's why just open up from your thoracic region because it's mobile. If you're bending from your lumbar region, you will have lot of compression there, lot of pressure. So that's how we are going to do in our class. Okay. So any question that you want to ask about whatever we have learned so far? I kept on saying I'm really sorry. I did not ask you.
I just had a question about the hatha sun salutation. When the hands are coming up to start with, are they coming from the side or are they coming from the front?
See, if you are taking your hands from front like this, you won't create enough space in your shoulder socket. See, this is a shoulder socket, you don't create enough space and your hands gets high towards your ears. Okay, so that's we are not going to do in my class, but if you're rotating your hands from here and rotating your hands outward automatically, like if you're rotating your hands outward from the beginning, then it is going to be very easy to straighten your arms over the head. So there is no restriction, no limit. But if your hands are moving from here, from the front, so you have limited amount of range of motion. Okay, so we are going to extend our range of motion so that we can increase our mobility too. Okay.
And I remember you said to look forward. So
Yeah, look
you're
forward.
not looking, you don't look at the thumbs?
Yeah, we do look at our thumb, but in Ashtanga we do have no straight spine. But in Hatha Yoga, we just make arch on our back and just open up from our thoracic region.
Okay, so your gaze is forward.
Yeah, gaze is forward. Yeah, it's better to look forward because if you're opening from a thoracic region, if you're looking back, then you will have a lot of tension in your cervical region. If you're untucking your head out, if you're tucking your head out, then you would have a lot of like tension or compression in your this region, cervical region. Just look forward in line with the thoracic region, then it is going to be better, and it won't have any injury. So let's do it one more time. Just everyone, please stand up straight. See, you were asking how are we going to look like? Where are we going to look? Okay. So just keep your hands on your lower back like this. Yes, behind your back. Turn your fingertips pointed upward. Very nice. Just look at Ro, how she's doing. Yes, everyone. Yes, Valeria, turn your fingertips up. Fingertips pointed up. Just look at them, Ray, Dagmar. Look at them. Yes. No, upward. Fingertips upward. Yes. Just upward. Just keep that on your lower back. Very nice. And then push your hip forward and then open your thoracic region. Look front. Just look front, open the thoracic region, and then open your lumbar region too. So in this, you can easily bend from your lumbar region and you won't have that much stress or that much compression in your lower back because you are having support. Okay. So if you do not have support, if you directly take your hands up over the head without any support, you will have a lot of compression, lot of pressure on your lower back, and that may cause injury on your lower back. Okay. So always remember, if you are bending back, you should have you should have support on your lower back, then you are bending from the lumbar region. If you do not have support, then directly go from the thoracic region. Understood? Now, again, take your hands up over the head. Very nice. Rotate your hands outward. Rotate your hands outward. And then bend your elbows into cactus hand. Just bend your elbows like this. Into cactus hand, very nice. And then pull your chest up. Pull your chest up, look front. Do not push it forward. Very nice. So this is your thoracic region openness. Okay. So this is how we are going to open a thoracic region. If somebody has this, if they have shoulder problem, a lot of stiffness in their shoulder, if their shoulder is dislocated, they cannot take their hands up. So how are we going to treat them? Any idea? If somebody has this, somebody has got their shoulder dislocated, they cannot take their hands up because their hands are already dislocated. So they cannot take their hands up. There's a limited amount range of motion. So how are we going to do? Any idea? Anyone?
Like this. Shoulder length, shoulder level, maybe.
No,
Don't
it's
go
very
over
hard.
the head.
It's very hard for them to like take their hands upward, or like even they cannot rotate their hands outward or inward. So what are we going to do? If you have a strap, what you will do, or interlock your finger behind your back. Just interlock your finger behind your back and then roll your arms in. Roll your arms in and then open your chest. And then look front or look up high. Do not push your hip forward. Hips back, and then open your hand very light. So this is how we're going to open our thoracic region. Okay? Or you can wrap that strap around your hands, like let's suppose wrapping your row to have a strap.
I have a strap
Yes, just make it bind it.
like this.
Not like this, just make it tight or bind.
In front,
Yes. Anyway, just bind.
like this.
No, strap, bind the end of that corner. End of the strap. Yes. No, just make it in a loop.
Oh,
Yeah. Make it small. Shoulder width apart. More, little more. Okay, just take your both hands inside of that. Take your both hands. Yes. Both hands. Yes. And now take your hands back. All the way back. So, like,
actually think.
yes, just like this, just like this, and make it more tight. It's very like too much loose. So let's suppose it's tight. Okay. So let's suppose it's tight. Just push your hands down, and then take your hands away from your butts. Just open your chest, just like this. Yes. Make it tight. Open your chest. Now push your hands down towards the floor. Yes. Open your chest. Do not push your hip forward. Yes. Pull your hands down. Push your hands down very light. So this is how we are going to do this. Okay. So this is going to give you nice extension. At the same time, it will also elevate your chest. Did you feel that, Ro?
Yeah, feel it in my
Okay.
chest.
Yeah.
Feel it.
So you are going to just elevate and sustain this elevation of your thoracic region. Okay, so this is how we are going to do back bend or forward bend or any other posture we're going to discuss about tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much for joining me here. Let's finish today's class. Join your hands together in front of your heart center. Then close your eyes. We will finish today's class with 1 Om followed by 3 Shanti. Take a deep breath in. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bend your head forward. Open your eyes while blinking. And namaste to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your morning.
Thank you very
evening,
much.
night. Bye-bye.